Hello, happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining me here. Tonight we are continuing on the Herb Bouquet embroidery. We're going to start the rosemary. We got parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, and we're working on the rosemary today. We don't have the parsley and sage quite done. We're doing an herb a day, but we'll jump back on there on Friday for sure. So I'm still hoping to get this done this week. So that is the plan. Thanks for joining me here. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Oh, and we're stuck again. And it's a time, you guys, that we can relax and craft together. Here, let me fix this camera for a moment here. Okay. Now we're back. All right, so hi you guys, back here. But all right, so we are continuing on the herb bouquet tonight. So there we go. We got the parsley and sage going, and we're working on the rosemary. So thank you guys. Let's get going. All right, we are unfrozen. We're good to go. Okay. Thank you all. Let's get down right into this. Okay, so I do have my my pattern here next to me again. This is that PDF pattern, which comes with the bundle, or if you just get the fabric with the pattern printed on, or just the PDF. But I have it open to this page that tells me the stitches and the colors. All right, so tonight, I'm going to back up just a hair. Okay. Sorry, zooming around a little. Okay, we're gonna start on the rosemary tonight. We got really far with the sage, especially since I wasn't on for half the time last night because of like weird tech stuff. So, but today we're gonna do the rosemary. I think we'll get pretty far on it. Now this is gonna use a ton of floss because we are doing these large, like, single crochet stitches, or like large lazy daisy stitches, and that means we're going to jump from here to here and back again, and then back again to anchor it down, and then back to the next stitch. So each one of these stitches is going to use like 4 inches of thread. So this is going to be crazy. We're going to be switching thread a lot, I think. And I'm going to, let's scooch our needle minder to this side now, so it's a little further away from our work. All right, so the rosemary is the fresh basil color. It's kind of funny that this is an herb name, this green. So this is the same that we were using for the parsley, but we don't have any left over, so we got to get a new piece. I'm going to err on getting a hair more than I usually do. So I'm like maybe at 30 inches, a little before over 24. I usually go about 24 inches. Oh, Shirley says the rosemary used up almost all of the dark green. Yep, so that's pretty much what I'm expecting. When we test these designs, we test for the amount of thread used, and then we try and add some extra. So I hope no one ran out of the green. Let me know for sure if you did. Ugh. I have a bunch of fuzzles at the bottom here that my thread's getting caught on. I'm just going to snip those away. Annoying buggers. Okay, and I have one more strand here. Zoop. Okay, so that 3 strands we'll set aside for later. Hope everyone's doing well today. I know down south you guys are having some weather, so hopefully you're doing all right. Oh, Tracy, have I ever made anything from clear vinyl? I have not, to my recollection. However, my mom has. My mom's made a few things out of clear vinyl, like little coin purses, or not coin purses, but like that you put like your ID badge in. Well, it's a coin purse, but she used it when she worked at a college. It was her coin purse, but then she could also slip her ID in the front. So she's done it. I think it was kind of like a bias tape around the beginning of it, or the edge of it. I'm going to weave in the ends here, and I'm going to start with all of these lazy daisy stitches, I think. I don't think I'm going to stitch up. So there's a few ways we could do this. I could do all the lazy daisies, just like go up the whole entire deal, and then come back down for that center line. Or I could stitch that line, the stem, up to like the first lazy daisy, go 1, 2, and then stitch up to the next ones and go the next 2 and then stitch up, so do it as I go. But I think in this case I'm going to do all the lazy daisies first. We'll see how that goes. And I have this sage to weave the ends into, so maybe I'll do this first side and come back down. I don't know. Let's see where the thread takes us, but I'm going to start with just the single chain stitches. So I've been using the words detached chain stitch, single chain stitch, and lazy daisy stitch to all kind of mean the same thing. Detached and single chain stitch, I think, really are the same thing. It just means like a single chain stitch, it just means one, or a detached, meaning like just one. It's away from the crowd, away from the row of stitches. It's just the single detached stitch. And a lazy daisy stitch is a lot of times what people call this stitch, but really a lazy daisy stitch is a lot of single or detached chain stitches around like a circular shape or something. You could almost maybe call like this is like a lazy daisy because it's got 3 of them around like a center point. You know, you can call it both, I suppose. All right, so I'm coming up at, you can kind of see this teardrop shape. With these rosemary ones, I definitely extended them, so they had like these long kind of leaves versus the thyme, which has a pile of little itty bitty baby ones. It's the same exact thing. We're just going a big distance with the rosemary and then just an itty bitty distance. But how you do it is you come up at the like point of it. So you got like the round area and then you have like the point. You're going to come up at the point and then you're going to go right back in at that point. But I'm making like a round shape around the leaf. I'm just going to go in a little and then I'm going to come up right at the like round, most like the apex of that round end, so just the opposite end, but I'm coming up within that kind of loop so that when I pull, I'm snagging that loop basically, right? And I don't want to pull too tight. I think I can, I can get my fabric a little tighter in here again. That will be helpful so I don't pull the loop too tight. But there we go. So that's our first one, and then we need to anchor it down because this loop will just pop off. It'll just pop off like that, and we don't want that. So we got to anchor it down, and I'm going to do that by putting a tiny stitch right on the other side of the loop. So not the same hole, just on the other side. I'm actually a couple fabric thread lengths away from the last, from where this thread's coming out. So just a tiny, tiny stitch to anchor that down. It's called an anchor stitch. And there we go. And you know what? I think to preserve floss, because I'm always kind of thinking about that, I might start the next one up. Usually I would come back down and do the opposite one on the opposite side, but I'm thinking, I'm right here right now. I'm thinking from here to here is a shorter distance from here to here. And same here, like here to here is a shorter distance than going all the way back to get to the next one. So I might do one whole side. Maybe I'll even come up on this side. Yeah, and then we'll just see. But I think to preserve even more floss, I'm going to just kind of do one side and do the other. So the other way you can do this is you can, once you come out of the same hole, you can go in that same hole again and then come up, like doing the sewing method, and come up at the end. My needle is just a hair too short with, maybe I can do it from this way, a hair too short with these long rosemary bits, but with these smaller ones I can maybe go in and out at the same time. Like the sewing method we did here, it's a lot faster. But, you know, when you do this, you can take the floss and kind of wrap it around that needle behind the needle, and then pull through, and that's like you're making your loop again. But that's going to be tough, a tough way to do it, that sewing method with these long rosemary pieces. So I'm going to just continue with the stabbing method. Oh, Catherine's asking, do I ever zigzag the edges or do a rolled hem to prevent a lot of fuzzle? So not really, not with the, so Catherine's asking, do I ever like sew the edge of this fabric, like do a zigzag stitch, or even like with a pinking shears cut it, or do a rolled hem, just so I avoid like all this stupid fuzzle stuff coming out. I don't really with these projects, because for me these are just kind of like quick little things. If I were to use a fabric that comes apart a little bit more than this, like, oh, I don't know, like a monk's cloth. I mean, that's maybe kind of a weird example, but like maybe a linen or something. If I was doing something that was annoyingly coming apart or made me nervous that it was coming apart quite a bit, then I might do something. I might tape the end. I don't know if I'd tape it. Yeah, I guess what I'd probably do is just sew a square around it. Just kind of hold those threads in. But with these little pieces of muslin, it's not too bad. And, you know, I just trimmed them off. I can just probably pull the rest of these out, yeah. And if this gets bad again, it'll be fine. But I think in this case, it's just seems like an extra step. Ooh, this is getting all separated and kind of twisty already. So I'm going to use that thread conditioner the next time. Oh, this is looking cute already, though. I mean, you really cover a big distance quickly, but you use up a lot of thread quickly, too. Look at how cute these are, though. So I'm going to kind of... I was thinking I'd do the other side first, because then I'd be close to the sage, and I could weave my stitches in the back of the sage, but I've kind of ended up on this side. So we'll see what's on the back of this to weave in. But I mean, I'm almost done with this first thing of floss, and I got to be careful that I have enough for whatever my next stitch is. Yeah, I think I can get maybe 2 more stitches out of here, which is crazy. Just sucks it up. But hey, we might actually be done with this rosemary really quick, and then we can really quickly, and then we can maybe go back and finish the sage tonight. Okay, yeah, so this is going to be my last stitch. I don't think I have enough for another one. And these 3 all go in the same hole, so that might be, I mean, I don't want to deal with ending a thread there and then having to go back and do the other 2. That'll be a good place to start. Yeah, for as big as these stitches are, I don't think this is enough thread to do another one. So I'm going to make my last little anchor stitch there. Wow, we did cover a lot of ground pretty quick. Let's see. Oh, see, now there's not like a lot to weave in here. These are just really big stitches. So I am just going to try and grab as many threads as I can. And then go back and forth 3 times. We should be able to grab enough and twist it around enough that it's still going to be secure. And we're going to add more stitches to this too, so we'll capture this as we go too. Oh, yep. So Amy's saying Ada cloth annoyingly comes apart in taping with masking tape. I do tape that with masking tape a little bit. So Ada cloth, that's that cloth for cross stitching, and that has like it's called an even weave fabric, and that means that it has like 4 strands, and then like a gap, and then another 4 strands and a gap, and same with the other direction, and therefore it makes like these tiny little pre-made holes, and that's what makes it easy to cross stitch in. So you have like this grid laid out. So yeah, that comes apart at the edge. I haven't cross-stitched in a long time. We should do some cross-stitch here. But I know when I did do cross-stitch, oop, my needle's on the back here. I did tape around the edge. Maybe now I wouldn't. If I would do it now, maybe I would try a zigzag stitch or something first. But you know what? Tape would probably just be the fastest. And the thing is, I'd like to think that you have enough fabric that you could just chop off that tape after. Like, don't bother like trying to pull it off or anything. Oh, let's use the thread conditioner this time. Oh, Amy says, I haven't bought this pattern yet, but I think it would be really cute on a tan gingham kitchen tea towel. Yes. So I think my mom stitched hers onto a tea towel. She's actually doing it twice. She's already stitched it, and I think that one was onto a tea towel. And then her kit came in the mail. She got the PDF first when she bought the bundle, and then her bundle came, and now she's stitching it just on this. But yeah, I definitely, I kind of want to stitch this onto a tea towel bad. Ooh, that thread conditioner smells good. So that's going to hopefully help this from twisting and twirling a lot like it was. All right, so what do we got here? I think I got a plan. So I'm going to start with these three, which is kind of where I left off. Then we'll get this one here, but then I think I'm gonna come all the way back down. I could just, this is great. Okay, my path is awesome here. This worked out just right. I'm gonna get these 4, and then I'm gonna just come right back down the stem and even get some of those stitches, and then just start at the bottom again. Oh wait, I gotta go all the way down here. Maybe this would be kind of weird, but maybe I'll go down to here. And then start going up this way and then get this side again. And then come back down and then just jump and do these. Okay, that's a little weird, but I kind of like it. I might do that, if that made sense. I think it'll make sense in a little bit. I'm really jumping around in an odd way on all of this so far. Like I like mapping it out, like my next step, and I'm doing it weirder than what I feel like I normally do. So I don't know what that's about. Doing what feels right. All right. Oh, Catherine, that's a great idea. Catherine says, sometimes I do, with leftover thread from the project, I go around the edge for like a little hem. Fun and a bit silly, since I'm making all the cute animal pieces into a quilt. Oh, that's cute. But yeah, I love that idea. Oh, that just sounds really adorable. Like after you finish a piece and then just like looping, like doing a cute blanket stitch or something around the edge with like some of the colors from the design. Oh, I love that idea. Oh, I kind of want to give that a try. That'd be cute. That for like a tea towel would be especially cute. Like you could stitch a design onto a tea towel and then use the rest of the thread to like do a little blanket stitch around the tea towel, or like maybe the bottom edge of it or something. All right, getting a little caught here. All right. I feel like this new piece of thread is trying to work its way out yet. It feels like it keeps wanting to get stuck for some reason. So I'm going back in the same hole. So this one gets a lot of thread in that same spot because we're doing these 3 big loops. So you don't want to pull your thread so tight that you don't see the rounded edge of your stitch. I mean, I know these are far apart, so it does look like maybe just 2 stitches next to each other, which I think makes sense for the Rosemary, but I still want that little kind of like rounded bloop at the end so it keeps that little teardrop shape. These are just like extended teardrops. If you pull too tight, then then sometimes your stitches can just look like two stitches mashed next to each other. Gosh, I already feel like I'm almost out of thread. It's crazy. I've only done like 3 stitches. Oh, yeah, you could use Fray check. So I've never used that before, Kimberly, but people swear by it. So it's a product called Fray check. And you can put it on edges, and it, I don't know, it's kind of like a glue, right? But like an invisible, you know, magic glue. I think it just, yeah, keeps those edges from fraying. Fray check. But yeah, I haven't used it ever, just because, I mean, not that I am against it, I just, that requires a purchase that I haven't thought about, so. But one of these days, I should give that a try. All right, so that's kind of the last stitch on this frond. So now I'm going to do the back stitch down the stem for this one. So that smaller frond on the right is going to be done here. So you see me twisting around a lot. I'm just trying to find the way that it feels the least awkward to hold it with my left hand and still feel the backs of my stitches. I always like feeling the backs of my stitches with my left hand. Oh, Kimberly says, oh, funny. Okay, Kimberly, I'm seeing you on YouTube too. So does the Fray check work with Aida fabric? I wonder. Okay, so she says it's fantastic stuff, stiffens the edge, and prevents unraveling. So is it kind of like strong starch then, maybe? Huh. Interesting. That would kind of make sense. So I'm doing like really big back stitches here, but I think that's pretty. I am trying to cross my back stitch over where the entry point is for those detached chain stitches, just because I like covering it up. Like I like covering up those entry points with a stitch. I just think it looks kind of clean. It makes the stem look like it's in front of these little leaves. Once I get to the bottom of this particular side stem, we'll see how much thread I have left. I don't think I have much to get me very far. A couple more stitches and I'll be done though with this stem, side stem. That went pretty quick. Oh, Amy says, I was late because I finally had a minute to research chicken scratch. I think I'm in the love again. So chicken scratch, that's where you basically kind of cross stitch onto like a gingham fabric. That's correct, right? I think I mix that up with some other things sometimes. But I think that's what the chicken scratch was. Oh, now that's a great idea. Jill says, I sometimes use the pinking shear blade on my rotary cutter to just zip around the edge. So a pinking shear is like that zigzag scissors, and that zigzag kind of prevents fraying because, you know, you have a long edge here. So with the long edge, that's just like one long strand, it's easy for one long strand to get just pulled out. But if you pinking shears it, then you've made a zigzag, so you can only pull out threads that are like this long, as wide as the zigzag is. So that prevents fraying, just because there's not enough thread to be like pulling out with that zigzag. Where should I go next here? Ugh, I think I'm going to keep traveling down the edge here, which may be silly, but I have enough thread to keep going with some back stitches, so and then I'm just going to crawl up this side. But yeah, so a pinking shear blade is like a round blade that you put on your rotary cutter, like how we have our blades on our rotary cutter, but it's a zigzaggy blade, so you get that same pinking shear effect. So I've never used one of those pinking shear blades, so now I've heard don't use those with rulers because they eat up the rulers. Let me know if you've found that to be the case. Oh, Robin, that's awesome. Say hi to Alyssa for me. Robin's Alyssa is watching. All right, a few more stitches and we'll be out of thread. And then I think I'm going to start at the bottom. We're doing this all out of order crazy, but for my brain, but we're doing it in a way that we can use up thread. We still need enough of this green thread to finish our parsley too, so that's a concern, I suppose. It would be great if I could get all the way down to the bottom, but I don't think I have that much thread. Yeah, pretty sure I don't. So we're going to start at the bottom, make a weird jump up to the first stitch, but whatever. So I just keep crossing over these stems down here. I think that's kind of fun. Don't worry about what stem crosses over what. It doesn't matter. And we're going to be covering them up with some purple stitches. That'll be like this twine that's around it. So whatever you do, whatever order you stitch these in, whatever stems go on top of other stems, will be fine. My God, I'm almost close. I'm literally going to have like one stitch left. Okay, I'm going to try and preserve my floss a little by doing like a forward stitch and then a back stitch. Oh my God, I need like 2 more stitches out of this thread. I don't know if I can do it. Thread chicken. Okay. It might just be really hard to weave in the end, but we're going to try and get this. Okay, last stitch. Oh my God. Barely any thread. But we made it! Okay. Oof. Yeah, I might actually, let's weave in sideways. Weave through some of these threads. Why not? That'll do. Awesome. I'm really happy we made it to the end of that thread in just the right place. All right, let's see how we're doing here. All right, we got like halfway done with this rosemary. I mean, it's fast. I mean, it eats up the floss like nobody's business, these stitches, but man, we covered a lot of ground already, I think. All right, I think we can no problem get the rest of this rosemary done tonight. All right, I'm gonna get another big piece out of this. I mean, yeah, we're getting low. So these are my pocket skeins. They're actually smaller than your typical like DMC skein of floss. They're only 4 meters, whereas a DMC or Cosmo skein of floss is like 8 meters. I believe Weeks Dye Works floss, that brand of floss, I think that's 5 meters. So we wanted just enough that would work well in our kits and everything, and it's just kind of fun having these little bitty skeins of floss that are just right for these little projects like this. So 4 meters, but yep, it doesn't go as far when you need all these. But like I said, if we do test the length of thread and then we add a bunch more to these, so I'm hoping you guys have enough green still. But if not, please let me know, email me, and we'll send you another one. But I'm thinking we should be good still. We usually try and do it that even if you didn't split your floss and you did it with 6 strands, that you still sort of have enough. I'm not sure if that's the case for this green, but typically we try and do that. I knew better than to wear this sweater today. It was cold again, and I wanted to be super warm. This is like my warmest sweater, but it leaves all this black fuzz everywhere. Like I can see black fuzz all over the outside of my fabric here, and I'm just like, ugh. Should have changed sweaters, but I'm nice and toasty, and man, I'm ready for it to just be nice and toasty all the time again. I'm ready for the windows to be open and to like eat dinner outside on the stairs. I don't know. I'm ready for all that. It was gloomy, gloomy, gloomy all day today until like 5:30. Then it was gorgeous out, just for like a little bit. But I think it's supposed to get nicer and nicer for us the rest of the week, so I'm really happy about that. All right, let's do this side. So one of the little challenges here is that I've already done my back stitch. So I want to come up like behind that back stitch, and I don't want to split the back stitch. So I got to just kind of pay attention to it when I come up here. And when I go back in, I'm just kind of pushing that back stitch out of the way a little bit for a second. Ugh. Just grabbed a whole pile in here. I was pulling part of the loop through with the floss. Oh, you know what? I didn't put it through the thread conditioner again, and I can already tell that I wish I did. All right, so now here's something. So these stitches that appear to go behind this sage leaf, those are not actually lazy daisy stitches. They just appear to be the same. So those are actually just stitches. So I'm just going to make one long stitch. Since like the lazy daisy part, you know, if this is a real plant, would be kind of behind this leaf. So I'm just going to go up, and I'm going to come back out on this side and go back down. That's all these are. If you do lazy daisy stitches there, it'll look totally fine. If you just do it right up against the leaf edge, that'll be fine. But these, we're just like doing some like fake, some like psych out lazy daisies here. They're just long stitches. I think we'll do that same thing here. Yeah, we might make this a lazy daisy, but this one where it kind of cuts in half there, I don't know. Or maybe we'll do a lazy daisy behind there. Maybe we'll do that. I haven't decided. We might make those into lazy daisies. But these are ones where it's clearly going behind this fat sage leaf. We're just going to make these fake little ones. Oh, okay, sorry, Sylvia. Okay, yeah, sorry. The comments are really weird on Facebook. Sometimes I don't know which is a reply and who's saying it and who's the reply, so sorry about that. Oh, and now I ran out of my back stitches, which are fine. I will get those on the way back down. I'm going to stick with the leafy bits. Then I'll come back down for the rest of the back stitch, so I can do the back stitch all at once. Oh, River City Creative saying chicken scratch embroidery is pretty. Never knew about it. Yeah, it'd be fun to do some of these other kind of styles or genres or like spin-offs of embroidery. I think that'd be kind of neat. Maybe one of these days we'll try a chicken scratch thing. Oh, I'm back to the lazy daisies, at least just for two. And this one is kind of another fake out one. I'm wondering if we should do both sides on the way up, and then we can come all the way down really easily. I think we will. So, yeah, I'm going to do each side. See if I can go up in one stitch. Yeah. Wrap around back. It's getting like weird for my hand to hold again, so we're gonna go upside down again. I think that's a little bit more comfortable. Should I keep going back and forth? Yeah, I think we are. Oh, so now this is where I was gonna decide, should I go behind? You know what, I'm gonna make these fake ones too. I'm just gonna go right behind and make a fake little stitch. Oops, I think I snagged a little bit of the top one there, but I think we're okay still. Yep, that's fine. All right, let's get this side. Oh, we're running out of thread again. I think I'll definitely need more to finish up this green. But if I still have some green on the needle, I might just go over to this parsley and do some more parsley if we still have time. So we'll get this little stitch here, and we'll get another fake stitch here. These are supposed to look like they're behind the other stitches, and that's why I'm kind of not doing a true lazy daisy stitch. We're just making it look like it's being cut off by those other stitches. I think it's effective enough. Looks like it's behind those. Looks like it's behind this leaf. All right, let's get some more fake stitches on this side, and then I think that's it for the fake stitches. All right. And, ooh, I'm getting caught on my needle minder there. Ooh, yeah, we're not gonna have too much more for these really big, like this is the biggest of these lazy daisy. Oh no, that one's down there is pretty big. This one's gonna use up like the rest of my thread. We have enough for this smaller one here. But the rest, I think we'll need a fresh batch. Oh, I might get one more. Just barely. Ugh, actually, maybe I won't. This might be enough for one more. Okay, one of these threads seems like it's a little bit longer than the others. I'm just trying to see if I can equalize it. There we go, now it went away. All right, let's try and get this little one on this side. Okay, let's flip and weave in this end. I might kind of try and scooch down to weave in the back of these sage stitches just a hair. Okay, there's just more backs of, like the backs of the stitches are closer together on the sage than on these big loopy chain stitches, so it's gonna just hold my thread better. All right. Okay, this last piece should get us the distance on the rest of this, I'd like to think. Let's run it through the conditioner this time. Oh, this is kind of pulled apart here. while I'm looking at them, remember next week we are going to stitch up Mr. Bunny here, our little stuffed bunny. So if you have that pattern, you know, have your fabric ready to go. It's basically, if you just think of it as like 2 fat quarters, you'll be good to go. So one piece that's, well, we can just, I'll let you know for sure. So here's the instructions. And yeah, so a fat quarter and a fat eighth. And I believe a fat quarter, I wonder if I say that on here. Oh yeah, so a fat quarter is like 22 by 18 inches, and the color 2, which is like the fat eighth, is like 22 inches by 9 inches. So that's how much fabric you'll need. And I show like how to lay it out, so it lays out just perfectly on the fabric. So you should just be utilizing those sizes really easily. Like there shouldn't be that much waste. There we go. All right, let's just where we left off on this leaf here. Then we'll get these 3. Then we just got to come back down with the back stitch just a hair. And I think we'll definitely have some thread left on the needle and some time. So let's get a few of these parsley leaves going again. I'm actually gonna weave into this sage again. Upside down again. Nope, Colleen, there's no interfacing on this. You can definitely use some if you like, but this is just some fat cord or just some fabric and some stitching. Get these last little 3 stitches here, and we will have all of these big lazy daisies done. I mean, this really added a lot to this piece really quickly. I feel like this big rosemary chunk in here. I think it looks like rosemary. Ugh, just trying to pull my thread a little bit here. There. It's kind of stuck in itself by the needle. Oh yes, and you do need some stuffing too. So I just use like a polyester stuffing. And you can use that. You could even stuff it with whatever you have too. You could stuff it really with like leftover fabric bits or anything like that as well. But yeah, for a nice lightweight and like just really nice shape to it, just some polyester stuffing. Just your normal stuffing that you'd get from like Joann's. That'll give it a soft look. If you use batting or like fabric scraps, it's going to make it definitely a little chunkier, but like not as smooth, but it'll still be kind of pretty. It'll be just a different kind of feel to it. But I'd recommend, yes, a polyester stuffing. Ooh, you have blossoms on your rosemary right now, Colleen. That's awesome. Oh, man. I think we'll probably have some come up again, but not for a while yet. I did put a few little blossoms on our thyme. We got a few little purple blossoms there, but not on the rosemary. All right, trying to get comfortable again, where my left hand can feel all the stitches in the back. So I'm not always upright. I'm just kind of where it feels best for my left hand. Well, we finished one of these fellers, one of these herbs in a night, so that's good. I do think that parsley is going to take a little bit yet, because, ooh, my fingernails snagged this guy here. All these little curves of the parsley, that's what's going to take a long time. Yep, we definitely have snow on the ground still, but not much. I'm hoping tomorrow's going to get warmer again, and I'm hoping the rest kind of skedaddles tomorrow. But oh my gosh, yeah, yesterday. Was that yesterday? No, 2 days ago, Monday, when it just snowed all day long. Ugh, couldn't believe it. So much wet, sloppy, bulky snow. I'm like right in the middle of my fabric, like right in the middle of the hoop, and that's why it's hard for my my left hand to reach. And I snagged this one too. Man, I don't know. Just did my nails. Maybe that's why I have some snags on there. I don't know. Boo. Keep accidentally snagging my thread. Okay, I think I want to do this in 3 stitches. This last little bit. Okay, 2, and we'll get 1 more. Maybe 2 more. I actually don't have that much thread on the needle anymore. I might start fresh, like a fresh piece of green. And actually, in that case, I might actually just try and finish this sage instead. Then we'll have like 2 little bits done at least. But there we go. That's our rosemary, looking all cute. I really like how that turned out. That's just really kind of sweet. I love those big bloopy single chain stitches there. All right, let's weave in the end, and we'll be done with this green for the rosemary. Still need it for the parsley. There's quite a bit of that to do yet. Alright, I'm going to move my needle minder again because it's going to be kind of in our way of hair. Let's go way over here. I think let's try and get some of this sage again. I mean, we're practically done. Oh, I don't know a good way to, like, map it out, though. Okay, I think I'm going to start here, go around the top, and I'll end up here. Then I think I might jump to the top here and come back down and then do the V up. There. Ah, that makes me feel better. I just needed to sleep on it, and then a plan appeared. So let's do that. Yeah, we got 10 more minutes. Let's see how far we can get on this sage leaf. I might actually just go till this thread is done. Because tomorrow I want to work on the thyme. We're doing like a day each of for each herb. And then Friday, we'll have to finish things up too. And we have our little twine down here. We'll do that. Okay, so right there is where I was going to start. kind of in the middle of this thing again. So I'm going to do the sewing method again for this. So if you missed it last night, I know last night was kind of crazy town for technology, but I'll show you the sewing method of doing a back stitch. I typically do a stabbing method, but I'll show you both again. Okay. So coming up, so the stabbing method again is where I come like straight up from the back, like my needle's straight perpendicular to the fabric there. And I'm going straight back down, so I can really kind of define exactly where I want to go, and it goes straight back down and pull all the way through. So that stabbing and pulling all the way through and all the way through, that is the stabbing method of embroidery. So the other method is the sewing method, and I'm going to actually kind of loosen my fabric a little bit because it's a little easier with slightly looser fabric. You don't want to pull too tight though, because you don't want to have your fabric pucker or anything. So I'm going to actually pull this back a little bit so it's even, but I just wanted a bit looser because it makes the sewing method a little bit easier. So the sewing method is when you go in and out in the same motion. So I'm going in at the start of the stitch, and then I'm coming up where the next part of the stitch will be. And I'm just going to pull right through. Ugh, geez. If I'm not pulling through the rest of the thread here. Ugh, there. You just pull through. And then you're on to the whole next stitch. So I actually think it's almost even like twice as fast as the other method. But I learned using the stab method, so it's more kind of ingrained into me. And I think I'm just more accurate. Like the stabbing and the coming up, I'm a little bit more accurate with the stabbing method. However, I've become more accurate with the sewing method after I realized, like, oh, if I just loosen the fabric a little bit in the hoop, so I have some give to like go in and out in the same motion. Like if it's too tight, you can't go in and out very easily there, but oops, with the fabric a little looser, that motion is easier, and I think I'm a little bit more accurate because of it. And it is so much faster, so I am hoping to just kind of speed through the rest of this sage tonight. Gosh, I wonder if this is even enough thread, though, to do all this. Probably not. Oh, thanks, Jill. Jill is reminding people to, give a thumbs up. So yes, definitely thanks for your thumbs up, your comments, your hearts if you're on Facebook, and of course your subscribes, your little notification bells. All of that is so helpful and just really sweet. All right, so I just have really one more stitch of this sage leaf. I'm going to finish it by the stab method just because that other stitch is kind of in the way. All right, and I'm going to just kind of leap up over here. And I'm going to just go like a V. I'm going to come down on this stem here in the leaf and then jump down here and just go all the way up through. And gosh, I really don't think I have enough thread for all that, which is going to be a bummer. I'm just going to need like the tiniest bit of this thread to do it, and I think I might need a whole new piece for it. But we might get lucky. Maybe we can extend it out a little bit with that back and forward stitch. Oh, and thanks everyone for your embroidery mystery box orders. We had to replenish them today because we had like one left, and so we were able to make out some more, and we're actually almost all out of those ones. I think we might have 2 left right now. We'll see if we have any more stuff to make more. I think we can probably do a few more, but I'll keep my eyes on that. But yeah, so I'm hoping that you'll like them. They're coming soon. Our first batch went out yesterday, and our second batch will come out, or will go out tomorrow, among our other warehouse studio sale stuff. Oh, Gretchen says, I wanted one. Well, there's a couple left, I think, and I may relist it again, and then we will put some other mystery things in. Nope, Gretchen, not too late yet. And the sale's going to run through, our studio sale's going to run through Sunday, and we still have some cones of floss yet. You guys really liked those, I think, so I'm stoked. I hope you love them as much as I do when they come in the mail in a couple days here. You'll have to share if you guys get like some. I'd love to see, your photos once you get them, like little unboxings or whatever. I'd love to see, you with your cones. I'm so sad to be sending them away. I love those cones so much, but yeah, no, I didn't need that many. So that's the deal. Oh, Shirley said, I can hardly wait to see my mystery box. Yeah, we just really had a lot of fun making those. But yeah, we might try and make up a few more. So I'm keeping an eye on them, and we'll see. Yeah, cones of floss are our mascot. I know. I was thinking that like if there's some left, I'll bring one home and it can sit behind us again. Ugh, we had so much floss for this. I was all worried we were going to run out of floss. We have floss for days yet. Gosh, and it's not even 9:30 yet. I thought I would have to go over quite a bit to finish this, but I'm telling you, this sewing method, the in and out in one swoop method, is so fast. It works better for some stitches than others, but like with this back stitch, it works well. The sewing method actually is preferable for the stem stitch in particular. Like I was so frustrated, didn't know how to do the stem stitch until I realized that, if you do the sewing method, it ends up being really, really easy. So one of these days when I do one of these with a stem stitch again, I'll show you what I mean. But yeah, if you're struggling with the stem stitch, again, I know we didn't do it in this piece, but if you're struggling with that, try doing it with the sewing method. It changes it all. All right, last little weave in, and plop that needle down. Snip. All right, I'm going to bring the needle to the front, and we got 2 sets of herbs done now. That makes me happy, at least, that we got a couple things done. So all of the rosemary and the sage. Our parsley needs quite a bit of work. We're only like halfway done with that parsley. That took a while. And this guy might take quite some time. There's a lot of stitches in here, and that's gonna, all these lazy daisies, even though they're smaller, they're gonna still eat up our floss just like how these ones did. So that'll be fun to do that one. Maybe this one we do the back stitch and the lazy daisy stitches in conjunction. So maybe I'll start at the bottom, do the back stitch up to here. Then, I don't know, maybe go up doing the lazy daisy stitches and then come back down doing the back stitch. And the same thing here. Go up doing the lazy daisy stitches on both sides, then come back down and then continue the back stitch up and then do the same thing back and forth. I think that'll be that's my plan. I'm going to go with that. All right, so we are set for tomorrow. Okay. All right, I am really happy with the progress today, especially since last night was such a bust in some aspects. But yeah, we got all that rosemary, that sage done. It's a little hard to see it from far away, but up close it's just like really nice and delicate, that sage. And yeah, so tomorrow will be the thyme. And I think we'll get pretty far on that. We'll just kind of scooch on that. And then Friday, I'm hoping to kind of finish this guy up. We'll see. There's kind of a lot to do yet, but I'm hoping on Friday we'll be able to finish. I think the first thing we'll do is the little bow and the twine at the bottom, just because that's going to be cute and we should make sure to get that done. And I also want to show you guys the French knots. There's a few French knots on here at the top of the Thyme. So I suspect that'll be a Friday job. We'll make sure to do that too. And then just one of these days, if I don't finish up that parsley, I'm going to have to come back to that. And then next week, you guys, we are, again, stitching up our little stuffed bunny. It's our little springy bunny. We designed this quite a while ago, but I haven't made it in a long time, and it'd be fun to make him again for spring. So you'll need, like I said, a fat quarter and a fat eighth. That's like a 22-inch by 18-inch piece of fabric. That's for the main color. And then a 22-inch by like 9-inch piece of fabric for the secondary color, so for the belly and his ears. And you can mix and match too. I think my mom's just mix and matching. I think she did like a little fuzzy, she started hers already, but she's doing a little fuzzy white ears and a fuzzy white tail, and then I think a different belly and a different body for hers. And I like a little ribbon around it for his little neck too. And then the stuffing, you'll need the stuffing as well. So prep for that, that'll be all next week. I do have those paper patterns, so I know some of you guys have this coming. The paper pattern also comes with the full fold out, sheet, so you don't have to do any cutting and pasting of other sheets together. But I do have a PDF version. I know, this will take some time to get to you, and we're working on it next week. So there is a PDF version. That one when you print it out, you will have to kind of tape some pieces together. But it's not the end of the world. I think you really only have to do that with 2 of the pieces, and then you're fine. But yeah, I'm ready to start stitching that next week. I'm pretty excited. It's been a while since we've done a 3D object like a toy. So I'm stoked. So we'll get this cute embroidery done. Those bundles are available as well still. And then the bunny. All right. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I'm glad the tech wasn't totally a bust again. This is great. We got a lot done tonight. So have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.